And we're live here on episode 75 of the Red Man Group. I am your host and moderator, Donovan Sharp. Wasn't here last week or the week before. I'm actually not going to be here next week because I will be down in the Florida Keys, basking in the sun, basking on those white sandy beaches of the Florida Keys. I think we're either going to Isla Mirada or Bahia Honda. I don't remember. Either way, I am joined, of course, by Steve the Dean Williams and quote unquote Bob Lewis. We call him affectionately DDJ, which means Doomsday Jesus. Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Just been pretty relaxed, took the last week off while everybody was in Poland, so I've been catching up on other stuff. Other than that, it's been pretty good.
Excellent. Steve, how you been, man?
Chilling, man. Same old.
Good stuff, man. So what we're going to do today, guys, is we are going to talk about, we're going to give you guys 10 reasons, 10 ways to tell a girl is lying to you. And I'll actually tell you how I came up with this subject matter. I had a conversation with a longtime friend of mine. He said something to me during a conversation that really struck a chord with me. And what he said was that females lie to get paid and men lie to get laid. Now, while there is some truth to that, there are many reasons why men and women are dishonest with each other and the opposite sex. Men lie to each other for different reasons than we lie to females. Women lie to each other for different reasons than they lie to men. Now, females lie to their husbands and boyfriends for a few reasons. They lie about their notch count to make themselves look less promiscuous than they really are. They lie about how their last relationship ended in order to absolve themselves of any and all responsibility. The list goes on and on. But the main reason women lie to their boyfriends and husbands is to cover up cheating. Yes, there are many different lies and many different times they lie, but the number one reason females lie to their significant others is to cover up infidelity. Now, unfortunately, out here, most men lack even a basic understanding of how to know when they're being lied to by females. They think that they know when women are lying to them because maybe she stutters or maybe she looks away when she's speaking to them, right? They've got the same remedial knowledge that every other man has, not realizing that these men are all lied to on the regular. Okay, if she looks up and to the left, she's definitely lying. If she stutters, she's lying. While these could be signs that she's being dishonest, it doesn't even begin to scratch the surface because females, gentlemen, they are professional liars and professional cheaters, and I think we can all agree on that. You think she doesn't know that stuttering and looking away gives her away as a liar? And if she knows that, you don't think she's going to adjust? You have to understand this, guys. Women are always 4 steps ahead. Okay, these women have been lying and cheating about lying and cheating since they figured out that men want to sleep with them. And that starts as early as maybe 14, 15 years old. And sometimes even younger ones than that on occasion. So before we get into the 10 ways that I'm going to point out, DDJ, what are your thoughts on female dishonesty and the way they do it today? What's the difference between females who lie now and maybe females who lied yesteryear? Well,
10,000 years ago when I was a kid, it was a lot easier to spot a female liar. And really, I think the big thing was that they didn't lie as much because they didn't have social media. Today, a woman will actually give all the tells of being honest and will be absolutely lying in your face. And the thing is that I think that's really the number one difference. And the number two difference is that the women of yesteryear, it was easier to catch them. I mean, you have to evolve, right? So back 25, 30 years ago, it was easier to catch these women because they didn't have social media to hide. And so one of the ways, like I said, you could tell if they were lying is if you went over their house and obviously there's a car in the driveway you don't know. I mean, that was kind of a giveaway. But the other thing is that there was more community cohesion. And what I mean by that is that communities were closer. So people talk to their neighbors, people talk to the people around them, and your significant other was part of your social group. In today's age of social media, we don't necessarily have that. We've got her friends, we've got his friends, and never the twain shall meet. And just like we got bros before hoes, they got hoes before bros.
Right.
So when it comes to these types of things, it's a lot easier for these women to be extremely dishonest in the age of social media, because what they're doing is that they're going onto Facebook groups, they're talking to their friends, they're reading, different websites, which are teaching them how to be more and more dishonest. And hookup culture is retarded. I mean, there's a rap song, I forget who it is. It's called Freak a Leak.
Oh,
And is
yes.
yeah. Yeah. Right. Your clothes are often over there. I mean, the reality is that women today, when they come over, their clothes are off within 10 minutes and you're already starting the process.
Right.
Whereas before there was a lot more courtship involved. And today we don't see that as much. I mean, women are like, shit, I got shit to do. So they're going to come over, smash it out, and then go back to whatever it is that they're doing. That's why all of a sudden, like, you see some of these women, they're like, oh, it took me extra long at the grocery store today. And shit,
Exactly.
So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, Steve, what are your thoughts on female lying and infidelity? How have females evolved as far as their lying is concerned?
Well, I don't think they evolved. I think they just got better. They've always lied. They always, it's something I talked about at the 21 convention. They always lived in deception and lying. I mean, everything about them since the beginning of time, or since they started wearing makeup, was a lie. Fake hair, lie. The nails, a lie. The push-up bras, a lie. Clothes, a lie. The girdles, lie. I mean, they lie so much that, I mean, on the outside, that they have also learned how to be the masters of lying on the inside. Because, and I think the problem is that I really don't think they have really changed what they've been doing. It's just that these guys have become so thirsty, blinded by what is in front of them. They want sex so bad, and they want to try to cheat the game, like I've always been saying. But number two is that these women, unfortunately, when it comes to this game, for a lot of these guys, they're a little bit smarter.
Mm-hmm.
They keep their ear to the ground, and a lot of guys don't understand that. A lot of guys think that these women are stupid. They may be naive, but they're not stupid.
Right.
And they're smart enough to keep their one eye on what's going on, but at the same time learning how to go ahead and try to manipulate or cover their asses depending on the situation. So one thing when they get around a guy, as far as lying, they're great at, with one hand they're petting the guy's ego, but with their other hand they're plucking his feathers. They know how to run this game really well, and a lot of guys don't understand that. That's why they get caught up, and that's why they like DDJ said, back in the day when everything was in black and white and everything, is right. It was a little bit different, but there was one time where they didn't realize they didn't have to lie. And when AOL, when the internet first kicked off, there was AOL and Yahoo Chat. Those were the two main things.
Oh God, you're going back.
Yahoo Chat, God damn it, hell yeah.
Women didn't know they could lie at that point. That the most honest time in the history of woman was when the internet kicked off, because what you saw is what you got, until someone figured out that, hey, wait a second. We don't have to tell them how we really look. You can go find a photo back in 1928 of me looking all skinny and pretty and all this other stuff, and we can start doing that. Then that rolled into this, and the catfishing. So women have been doing this all along. It's just like the Borg. I'm a Trekkie. They just, they wait to see what's going on, and they kind of adjust to the season or the ecosystem. But they've always been they've always lied. It's just that people feel like now it's a brand new thing. They've always been doing it, though. They're just the masters of it.
Yeah, it would appear that women have evolved with the times, but men have not. Women now use technology to their gross advantage to get away with these fantastic lies. But men, for whatever reason, and I think you pointed out a good reason, Steve, they're so thirsty, they choose to remain willfully ignorant of the lies. It's staring them right in the face, but they don't want to acknowledge it because they're afraid it's going to mess up their chances of with her.
Yeah. Do you mind if I interject something here?
Go ahead.
Okay, so back in the time, because I was running around when at the time Steve was talking about. And so back in the day, and Steve said this, I think it was like a couple weeks ago on one of the episodes we did together.
Mhm.
Men used to chase the game.
Yes.
Women were just a perk. And that's how it was. And let me tell you something, like, back when I was running and hunting, I never had to look for women. Women would find me. Women were like lionesses in the Serengeti. They were out there hunting. and because they knew, they were like, okay, this guy's the one. So they go hunt him. And that's the thing, is that what a lot of guys have forgotten, and this is like the age of the internet has done a lot of this, is that guys have forgotten the game.
Yes.
They have forgotten to do their own. They have forgotten how to be masculine men. They have forgotten how to go and achieve for themselves. And they have forgotten the number one rule. And that is, when you are out doing your own thing and you quit being thirsty and you just go do your own thing, you be successful, you be the best individual, the best masculine male you can be, these women will come for you. They will come for you. And you will have no shortage. And that's the thing that a lot of these guys miss, is that, they forget that piece. So they're out here being thirsty and everything else. And that's what is allowing a lot of these women to get away.
Yes.
With a lot of the clownish behavior that they've been doing.
Listen, you make very good points. I think Steve and we actually touched on this a little bit yesterday. We had a really young guy in here talking about, game doesn't matter anymore and it's archaic. And we had to explain to him, no, man, game is never archaic. Game never, quote unquote, goes out of style. Women have been the same. Women and men are the same as we were now as we were back then. The only thing that's really changed is technology and creature comforts. And like I said before, it's men. We as men, we have failed to evolve with the times. Women have evolved. This is why women are racking up body counts into the double digits within a calendar week, because it's so easy for them. The reason it's easy for them is because they take fully advantage of the technology, and men aren't able to catch them because they're not evolving with the times. I think it's very important for men to understand that. Go ahead, Steve.
DDJ's on point. Good shit, D. But the thing that y'all remember back in the day, and I'll ping off of what DDJ saying. You never ever heard men back then say, well, I'm too fat. I don't look good enough. I don't have a job. I don't have clothes, and to only get a woman, I need these things. You never heard men talk that way. Men never discussed that kind of stuff. It was women that always talked about their size, their body weight, their height, and what they did. So what's happening is that things are starting to flip, where men are acting more like, males are acting more like women. Ooh. And women are kind of switching around and being more the aggressive man type now. But he's still in that. They're still lying. I just want to put that in there.
Yeah, very good point. So the first step in making it very difficult for women to lie to you is to pay attention from the beginning. And what I mean by this is pay attention to her mannerisms from the very first interaction. Pay attention to her body language. Pay attention to her voice inflections. Pay attention to her verbal cadence from your very first interaction with her. Guys, watch her eyes. Watch her mouth. Watch her micro expressions when she's talking to you. You need to pay attention to all of these things when you know she's being honest about things that seem inconsequential. So when she says, hey, I really like this Appletini, pay attention. When she talks about the kind of shampoo she uses because you said her hair smelled interesting, pay attention. When you ask her about her friends, pay attention. Now, the reason why this is important is because this gives you what FBI interrogators like to call a baseline. When she answers questions she has no reason to lie about, her voice inflections, her cadence, her body language, and her facial expressions all give you that baseline. You know, you're very keenly aware of what she looks like, what she sounds like, and what she moves like when she's telling the truth. This is why FBI interrogators ask basic questions in the beginning of a lie detector test. They ask you questions like, what's your name? Where were you born? What are your children's names? And so forth. This way, when they actually administer the questions they want answers to, they're more likely to detect any sort of inconsistencies or incongruities in your pulse, your voice inflection, sometimes even your vital signs compared to your baseline. Now, obviously, you're not going to put a female through a lie detector test, but you guys can do the next best thing, which is to pay attention from the start. And Steve, you've said this before, and this is actually where I came up with this. Too many men are so caught up in the sex and the companionship and all the dopamine hits that comes with the newness of a sexual relationship, what they end up doing is they end up sleepwalking through the first few weeks, and they miss that critical baseline information that could be used later on when she tries to be dishonest with you. Then guys are always asking the same thing. How could I not see she was lying to me? Well, there are many answers to this question, but the number one answer is that you didn't pay attention and establish a baseline from your very first interaction with her. Now, while this first step is important, guys, you have to understand it's only the beginning. You have to be able to use this information later on when and if she ever tries to lie to you. And there are many, many ways to pick up on these things, rather easily, again, provided you've done what's necessary to prepare yourself. Now, today, we're not going to go over every single solitary sign that your woman is possibly lying to, because if we did, we'd be here till freaking April Fool's Day. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys my top 10 ways, my top 10 signs that females are lying to you, and I'm going to get Steve's and DDJ's. And again, I want you guys to agree. I want you guys to disagree. One thing that I like about this panel is that this isn't a circle jerk. We disagree with each other all the time, and we never take it personally because we understand at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. So I'm going to hit you guys with number one. The first way, according to Donovan Sharp, that you can tell that your woman or a female is lying to you, her story or stories sound rehearsed. Okay, let me elaborate on that. This is where paying attention and establishing a baseline comes in handy. Okay, so for example, if you ask her how her day was and she says something like, work was same old, Kevin in sales got on my nerves, but he got off early so I didn't have to deal with him. I went to lunch with Carol and I had a Cobb salad. She had a chicken quesadilla and a Coke. The traffic sucked, but I listened to the girls' podcast today, so that helped me to pass the time now that I'm here with you. Now, if this is the way she usually describes her day, guys, then cool. But if this is out of the ordinary in terms of details, it's because she rehearsed it, meaning that's not how her day went. Now, a good way to find out for sure is to ask her again later, and if she uses the exact same wording, meaning that she tells you about the Cobb salad, the chicken quesadilla, Kevin and sales getting off work early, then they were definitely rehearsed. You never have to memorize the truth, guys. If you ask someone the same question 2 different times, they never use the same details verbatim. Another way to know if she's rehearsed her lines is her enunciations, her voice cadence. If those things are different from what they normally are in her baseline, she is definitely lying to you. Steve, what are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree with a woman's story sounding rehearsed means that she could be lying to you? What are your thoughts on that?
I 100% agree with you, but I 100% disagree with you.
Okay, all right.
It's not a bad disagree. No, it's a time placement disagree.
Okay, I already know where you're going. Go ahead.
So what I want to say with this is that it sometimes the lie doesn't start with the woman. See, sometimes she'll go into the relationship looking for that honest person. But because a lot of these guys are dishonest with women when they first meet them. See, to me, I see where you're at. You're already in the fact that they're in the relationship.
Okay.
I'm going all the way back to the first interaction, the first pickup line, the first gimmick, the first type of lies and all the manipulation that they've learned on all these YouTube videos.
I like it.
And everything that you're saying that she's doing, these guys are already done when they first met her. See, you're right about everything you're saying as far as how her cadence or how she's talking and all that stuff. But these guys are coming in doing this, which is telling her, "Oh, you want to play." See,
that makes sense. I didn't think of it that way.
These guys out here that follow these guys that tell you how to lie, manipulate, and deceive women. And say you can't trick a trickster. She may come in as in, you know what? Okay, you know what? You know, I had a bad time with Donovan and he hurt my feelings and I learned my lesson. Now I'm going to clean my act up and I'm going to be totally honest with the next guy. But what are the majority of these guys doing? They're lying to themselves. They're lying to the women and they're lying about their situations. So then automatically she goes right back to what she was in the beginning based off of what these guys are doing. Like you said, everything that you said that she might do is 1,000% right. But I think there's a trigger of what these guys are doing the exact same thing in the beginning that forces her to say, you know what? Okay, look, I'm going to play coy. I'm going to play stupid.
Mhm.
You want to play? Okay, we're going to play. You really want to play the lie game because you can't lie better than me, so let's play. So, again, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm just saying I always like to go to the first domino.
Gotcha.
First domino is the interaction that guys have with women. That's why I always say be honest and transparent. Because, see, when you honest and real, you can spot liars faster because you know the game. You know how that shit goes. But if you're living in deception and lying and you think these, like, again, goes back to the thing women are stupid, you can't trick a trickster. She knows the game. She's already in the mud. You just got in the mud. So when you're saying that she's doing all those things, you're right. But I believe it starts early on with the guy coming in sidebar, sideways, lying, manipulating, and deceiving to get her to say, okay, let's play.
Well said. DDJ, agree or disagree? Her story sounding rehearsed means she could be or probably lying. What are your thoughts on that?
All right, so I'm going to actually do a bit of a deep dive, and I'm going to develop a little bit of what you talked about as far as baselining, but I'm also going to touch on what Steve said, because I think he says some things that are extremely important. So I'm not dodging the question, but I am going to take the long way around.
Let's do it.
So with that said, let me say this. When you're honest and when you're not thirsty, these women know. The reason she's talking to you, the reason you have that first interaction is because she's interested. Women are like cats. Men are more like dogs. And what I mean by that is that cats don't fuck with anything that's a waste of their time. And they will walk the fuck away from something that they think is good if they're done with it. And it doesn't really matter what the program is. So whereas dogs are more likely to be loyal and they're more likely to stick around because of the relationship, cats are like, no, fuck this, I'm out. Right. And when you try to discipline a cat, yeah, that shit don't work. So you have to understand that, like, this woman isn't even talking to you if she has no interest in you at all. There is a reason she is talking to you. She will not waste any time with you, interacting with you in the first place before that relationship thing happens. But this is the thing is that when you meet her, when that initial interaction happens, that's when you have to start baselining her right away. You have to not only baseline her stories, but you do not allow compartmentalization, because you see, women are chameleons.
Right.
Women will mirror you. And because of, thanks to social media, at some level, all women are somewhat sociopathic and all women are somewhat narcissistic. And it's not that women are smarter. It's that because they have more experience in dishonesty, they're more cunning. So they're better observers. And because they are dishonest, they know what kind of dishonesty to look for in a man. So what Steve is saying is absolutely correct. They will spot a lie from a man long before that man will spot a lie with them. So this goes back to compartmentalization. When you're talking compartmentalization, when you have to not allow yourself to be compartmentalized. Now, what does that mean? That means that she should not keep her work from you. She should not keep her friends from you. She should not keep her family from you. Because not only do you have to baseline her story, you need to baseline her interactions with others, her family, her friends.
Think about that. Wow. Good. Very
okay.
good.
Now, the reason is because I've been caught up by superpower thoughts that are real. I mean, you can't tell. And don't get me wrong, the sex was great, but you can't tell. You know what I'm saying? So the way you tell is you have to understand this. A woman cannot be successfully dishonest in all situations. That's why these women compartmentalize their men. So they keep their friends away from their man. They keep their family away from their man. They keep their social connections away from their man. Baseline how she is on her phone. Baseline her timeline. Is she a woman who's normally punctual and then all of a sudden she's late? Things like that, you know? So, you know, and I would agree with you when you talk about your baselining, you have to do that, but you have to develop the baseline of who she is completely. And the thing is, here's the other thing that a lot of guys don't realize. In the beginning, you need to look for tells from the very first interaction. She will make side comments about how if there's money involved, she's a hoe, or about her quote unquote party years, or about how she quote unquote maybe made some mistakes, you know, like that gangbang she, accidentally slid into, just shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So look for the tells, look for the side comments that admit she's a hoe. And the number one thing is this: when she makes those comments, don't say a fucking word, because she can't help herself. See, that's the thing. These narcissists, they think they are the smartest people in the room. The worst thing a guy can do is to confront a liar. Why? Because liars always lie. And when you confront a female liar, all you're doing is this: you are teaching her how to lie better. You are telling her where she made a mistake, so now she can turn that into a strength. But the point so when you're talking and you're having this conversation with her and her friends and her family, and you're interacting with these people, what your goal is to do is like what you're saying. You reconcile across the different stories she tells. You reconcile the facts with the compartments she puts you in. You talk to her friends about stuff. If she says, "Oh, I went to the restaurant with Jane," oh, that's great. So then you say, "Oh, Jane, well, what did you like best about that restaurant?" Boom. There you go. And Jane don't know. Jane starts hemming and hawing, and tonation can be important. But the other thing is this, is that if you're with a woman, and let's say you start from get-go, you meet her like what Steve says, when the first domino falls, and she's a certain way, and then she's consistent, and she's considerate, and she's loving, and she's caring, right? And the sex is good and everything is going well, and you think it's great, and then all of a sudden it stops and you don't know why. That's because you're not in a relationship. You're the victim of a love bomb. So the love bomb is now over, and she started to move on. It's that investment that is stopped. So once you recognize when the love bomb is gone, pop, smoke, and ghost. Go to the next one. On to the next one. Don't argue with her. Don't fight with her, especially if it's anything under like 60 days.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's
not
investment. Yeah.
So I agree with you completely. I agree with actually both of what you say. I agree with Steve in that you have to start from the first time you talk to her, because if she wasn't interested in you, and you don't have to worry about it. I always say this: listen, the beauty of telling the truth is this: you don't have to remember what it is you said. And then also I agree that you have to baseline her like what Donovan said, and you have to baseline who she is. Now, if there's things about her where she's keeping you in the dark, or she's overgeneralized, or I don't want to talk about that right now. Right. That's a perfect sign you're in a compartmentalization and you're in the middle of a love bomb. So just be aware of that.
Well said. Let's go to number 2. Let's go to my second sign that your woman might be lying to you. By the way, guys, we're opening up the phone lines a little early today. They are working today. 914-205-5356. We had a question in the chat. And I would actually like Tim Allen wants to know how he can get over the fear that he'll never meet any woman better than his ex. We need a little bit more detail on that if we're going to give you a proper answer. But my number 2 sign that your woman is lying to you or being dishonest with you is she repeats what she says to emphasize the lie. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you ask your girl, "Did you and Lisa have fun at the mall?" Let's say she answers, "Yeah, we definitely did. We went to Forever 21 and spent way too much money, but it was totally worth it. We also ate at this Chinese place in the food court and ended up at Macy's. We spent so much money at Forever 21, but it was totally worth it. We were there for a while, so we had to get out of there before we spent our entire paychecks." Now, in that example, your girl wants you to believe that the reason she took so long is because her and her friend Lisa spent a lot of time at Forever 21. And the reason she wants to drive this point home is to reassure you that she wasn't getting butt fucked by Kevin and Sales. So she mentions it multiple times, thinking that repeating it over and over will convince you it's true. So in my book, if she says something in her story at least twice, okay, or if she repeats something in her story at least once, she is likely lying to you. Steve, agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree with you. The issue is, again, when she's setting something up with another guy, and she knows she has a man, a living boyfriend, or someone she's dating, she's already preparing. See, this is how smooth they are. They prepare for the lie, and then they got the cover up to the lie, which is their girlfriend, to corroborate the lie just in case it comes along. You're right about what you're saying, Donovan, but the issue is that a lot of these guys are so far in the forest they can't see the trees. They won't recognize. They'll ask the question, they'll get the answer, and sometimes she'll say exactly what you're saying, and they won't even realize and notice that. They won't even realize and notice that she's just slipped on her lie, because they're not looking for the things in between. They're like, well, let me ask her about her day so she doesn't get mad at me, or let me ask her about her day to make it look like I'm interested, even though I'm really not interested. You know, I'm watching the football game, or I'm playing video games, or I'm doing something. Let me just ask so I can prevent myself from having an argument. And yet, sometimes, even though she tries to cover her ass, she's a woman at the end of the day. And like you said, was saying, Donovan, she'll slip, and she will repeat. But again, and DDJ, I'll throw it to you because you're next up. I just think that at the end of the day, they will slip because they're women, but they're smart enough to look to the future to cover their asses. Cover my ass. CYA. I'm gonna go like you say, Craig and Sales, whoever the dude was butt fucking her. Yeah, she's like, okay, well, all right. So we're gonna hook up at 11 o'clock. All right. First thing I need to do is call my girlfriend. I need to call the one that I need to corroborate the story. Call her first. Then she needs to let her man know in case he calls the man up. So she's thinking like 5-10 moves ahead of all these scenarios and situations where she can cover herself. But I think because the guys don't really care about her shopping day or her shopping experience, they're just asking to ask. But in asking to ask, Donovan, real quick, I think because she's a woman, sometimes she'll slip up on her lie, but they won't catch it. You're right. If she does it twice, yeah, she's doing it, but they don't see it because they're like, okay, let me just ask her about her day so I get this shit over with. Okay, how was your day? Okay, good. Okay, back to, that's how in my opinion, that's usually how it goes, brother.
Okay, DDJ, what are your thoughts on if she repeats something in her story at least one time, she's probably being dishonest?
Well, absolutely. And let me tell you why, in my view anyway. It's because she's emphasizing something that needs no emphasis. Right? Like if you talk about some like a special event in your life, like graduating from college or some particular accolade you got, you might repeat that once or twice because that's something of note. That's worthy of of repetition. But when you say something like, I went to McDonald's, nobody gives a fuck about your McDonald's. Go fuck yourself with all that bullshit, right? That's like when they start repeating that, absolutely. But the other thing that was interesting in the narrative that you painted, in the scene that you painted, which is absolutely indicative of a female being dishonest, is this. What doesn't she say? See, when a woman is talking with you, she's going to want to talk about her emotions and her feelings and, what she talked about and all that other type of thing, right? But when she's out lying and she's saying, oh, I'm with Susie and we was at Forever 21 and we did this, we did that, we did this. Notice how she doesn't say, we talked about this. Oh. Notice how she doesn't say, Susie told me this or Susie told me that. Mm-hmm. And there it is. And I'll tell you, Steve hit the nail on the head. These women prepare the ground. They prepare it. They plan for this shit. And sometimes it's not that women are smarter. It's that they're more cunning. So when it comes to this kind of thing, that's really what the program is about. So you have to understand that like they plan this shit all the way out. And with their friends helping them out and with social media helping them out, it's a whole lot easier. So yeah. So when you ask, like you're in the middle of something, hey honey, how's your day? Because she'll always bitch if you don't ask her how her day is. You don't care about me. And all the, yeah. Right. So when you ask her about her day and then she doesn't tell you what they talked about, well, that might be indicative also of the fact that she's just trying to share the facts with you so that you don't catch on to her bullshit.
Something you said earlier, DDJ, that ties into what Sharp Assist just said. He said, trickle truth masters. This is why when a woman is lying to you and you suspect she's lying to you, don't call her out. And see, I'm notorious for this. If I believe that Devin is being dishonest with me, I call her out on it. Devin's probably the world's greatest liar at this point, because when she's tried to be dishonest with me, I have nailed her to the wall. So perhaps I need to fall back a little bit and allow her to continue to lie. That being said, the reason why it's important to take the DDJ route is that women really are trickle truth masters. just because she doesn't tell you the truth now doesn't mean it's not going to slip out at some point. So let's go back to the Forever 21, right? Women can't help but tell on themselves, right? So they'll be, yeah, the other day when I was at Wet Seal with Lisa, wait a minute, you said Forever 21. Oh, we went to Wet Seal after Forever 21. You see that? Women, they might not tell you the whole truth now, but if you pay attention for long enough, eventually the whole truth is going to come out. We call it trickle truth.
Well, and the other thing too is that the easiest place to conceal a lie is between two truths.
There you go.
And like and this is exactly what Steve was saying too, though he said it in a slightly different way, and that is that women will let you know that they're lying. They will slip up. They will make mistakes. You just have to be observant.
That's it. You just got to pay attention. That's what you have to do. This is what I said in the beginning. Too many guys sleepwalk through their relationships, and their women are lying to them all the time, but because you're not paying attention, they get away with it. All right, let's go to my third one. This one, I'm really interested to get you guys' input on this. The third sign that your woman is lying to you is she quote unquote hates someone too much. Let's go back to that first example when your girlfriend told you that Kevin in sales was getting on her nerves. The reason she tells you that he gets on her nerves is to throw you off the scent. She wants you to think, man, she really hates that douchebag Kevin in the sales department, so you'll have no idea that she wants to fuck him or that she is fucking him. And listen very carefully, gentlemen. When your woman talks about a man she cannot stand, I can't stand Justin at the coffee shop. David is such an asshole. These are the musings of a female with wet panties, and she is trying to convince you there's no way she'd ever do anything with those guys. But the more a female talks about how much she doesn't want to fuck him, the more she wants to fuck him. He's too short. He's married. He's ugly. None of that matters. She thinks enough of him to mention him to you multiple times. Besides, how did she know that Kevin worked early and that he's in another department, right? And I'll actually give it, dude, I'll give you a personal example. Devin. There was a guy that Devin worked with. His name was Steven, right? And she used to tell me, oh, Steven, this guy just gets on my nerves, blah, 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 blah. I can't stand him. Well, I went into her office one day, I guess, to help move her desk. Turns out that Steven is this tall, debonair, smooth-talking dude. Devin sat right next to his ass, right? And because I have recordings of what goes on with Devin at the workplace, I went back and I listened to their recordings. And it sounded to me like Devin and Steven had a very chummy relationship, which is absolutely not okay with me, right? What made me, and again, I had never suspected it because in my mind, she told me Steven looked like a pedophile. Oh, he's unattractive. He looks like this and that. Steven was not unattractive. He did not look like a pedophile. Steven was a good-looking, smooth-talking dude. Now, let's back it up here. Gentlemen, your woman is going to be attracted to other men. Your woman is going to look at other men, okay? This is going to happen. Your job as a man is to eliminate those situations that could lead to infidelity. So here's what I told Devin. I said, you're going to move your desk and you're going to put up a wall. You're not to talk to that dude ever again. She hasn't talked to or about him ever since, and she moved her desk clear across the office. The point is Devin did her level best to tell me that Steven was this, I just hate Steven so much. Turns out that that clearly was not the case. Steve, by the way, what are your thoughts on a woman who says, she hates someone too much? If your woman or girlfriend, or you know that someone whose woman or girlfriend talks all this shit about this douchebag that she can't stand at work, is that a sign that she is lying to her husband about the way she really feels about him?
Oh, hell yeah. Yo, I always the thing me and my boys used to do, we used to go to the grocery store with our girls and stuff. Like, when you see a woman come towards you, and you want to look at her ass and you want to look at her body and you with your girl, but you just don't know how to do it, it's either two things you do. Either one, you turn the opposite way and start looking at stuff knowing that she's going to come right into your view.
That's right.
Or number two, you be like, hey, baby, look at that. Can you believe how that bitch is dressing? She's dressing like a slut. Look at her. She's dressing that way, girl. Talking about the woman. But yes, let me tell you something. that was kind of the thing I was talking about because I was teaching guys how to get pussy on the 4th of July when people begin to talk about you, especially women. When women are talking about look, dog, and I'm not trying to pump my chest, but I wish my woman would pump enough blood in her heart to go through her veins to form a sentence or mention another guy to me. No, you gone. That ain't happening. But let me tell you something. They will do it because they sidetrack him. It seems like they do it 2 things, Donovan, real quick. Number one, they're curious and they're like this, I got a husband, I got a man, I don't have my gay best friend or anything like that. So I need some other guy's opinion to talk about the other guy to see if he's fuckable. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I can't believe DDJ. I mean, all he does is talk to other women, and he's just an asshole to me. And then the husband be like, well, that's just how some guys are. Well, I just can't understand why he's like that and all this other stuff. Well, he sounds like he's a complete total asshole. You need to stay away from him. He's not she's going to see what her man thinks. Like he's the gay, but he's her man, but he's like the friend, the friend that doesn't get the shoulder to cry on.
Oh yeah.
But number 2, she tries to see what she's got in front of her. Remember, they're always going to compare. If they can do better, they will do better.
All right. It's called hypergamy.
Right. If she's talking about another guy to her man and her man ain't checking her at the door,
shit,
then she's like, well, why am I even with you in the first place? Because of I remember way back when I was with Donovan Jebediah Sharp and I brought up another man. He checked my ass, yanked my neck not yanked literally, but he checked my ass at the door, and I never brought up another guy again. But with this guy, he's not doing anything. He's not only allowing me to talk about another guy, but he's joining in the conversation. Because, see, a lot of guys don't know what to talk about with women, so they allow women to bring up this kind of stuff because it's like, oh, God, I don't know what to say, so I'll let her bring something up. Oh, okay, well, let's talk about DDJ at the job. Okay, well, what does he do? How long? What department is he in? And how long have y'all known each other? And, he's just trying to talk to her, but he's fueling her fire to want to sleep with him based off of what her man is doing.
No idea that they're doing it.
No idea, fam.
DDJ, what are your thoughts on a woman who hates another man too much, just covering up her desire for that man?
Well, let's be real. I mean, we've all been talking about it, but we really haven't named it. The opposite of lust is not hatred; it's indifference. So, if she hates a man, or she's upset a man, or he's gay, or he's whatever, the fact she brought him up means she's thinking about him. So, and like Steve said, if she's talking about another dude with you and you're like joining in going, yeah, he's this way or he's that way or whatever, right? Well, that's the Cuck Lives Matter tip. Don't do that. And frankly, when it comes to women who start talking shit about another man, I just bring up another woman. I'll be like, yeah, I know this is woman at my work. It's the same way. I mean, she's cute and everything, but she's a bitch. Oh yeah, just start bringing her up. Oh, and then the next time she brings her up, it'd be like, oh my God. And then like next time you see her, you'd be like, oh my God, yeah, you know what? I was talking about that other bitch the other day. Man, I ran across a new one today. And start digging into her about this new one and just run that probably 3 or 4 times and watch her stand there like, you motherfucker. Yeah, fuck you. How about that? You're an option. If you want me to be an option, you're an option too. How about that? Turnabout's fair play.
But listen, both of you guys are absolutely right. Your woman should not be, listen, and again, like I said, women are women, men are men, right? Listen, man, there's no doubt in my mind that Devin loves me very much, at least as far as I know. She sees other guys she finds sexually attractive. She sees other guys that she would fuck if she knew I wouldn't find out about it, right? What keeps her around, what keeps her from giving in, see, wanting to have sex with a lot of different guys doesn't make a woman a slut. Okay, yielding to those impulses does. Devin's a human being. I'm a human being. I see plenty of girls at the gym that I want to fuck. I see plenty of girls around this apartment complex that I want to fuck. Devin, the same thing. There are many attractive men who live in this building. She works with attractive guys at work. She sees guys that she wants to fuck all the time. This is normal, right? But what keeps her in line is her devotion and her investment in me and to me. If she is disrespectful enough to holler at somebody while I'm around, then guess what? Then she's got to go. Right? So, okay, so a lot of guys may think, well, if she's attracted to somebody at work, that's a deal breaker. No, it's not. She's human. What keeps her around is her devotion to you. If she doesn't do anything to cross the line, now, of course, at that point, you're not going to find out about it. But if you really want to know who she's attracted to and who she's not attracted to, if she starts talking about somebody else, if she starts talking about how much she hates that guy, you need to start paying attention to her interactions with that guy. Go ahead, DDJ, what you got?
So here's the thing, and I always tell guys in relationships this. The reality is that when you're in a relationship, there are 3 women who want to fuck you.
That's right.
And when a woman is in a relationship, there are 3 men she knows who want to fuck her.
30, actually.
Probably. I mean, the thirst. Yeah, again, that's because these guys got no game and they're focused on women instead of their own fucking mission.
Right.
So yeah, I would get that. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that, there's always going to be men that are going to be going after your woman. So you just got to you just got to understand that. And then again, you got to make sure that your bitch stays in check. It's that figurative pimp hand. It's got to stay strong.
Straight up. It has to. Dude, I love your response. Oh my God, I just can't stand Kevin in sales. You know what? There's this girl at work. I can't stand her either. He's probably just like Kevin. I mean, she looks good and everything, but goddamn, I can't stand her. Your woman's going to be like, wait, huh? Wait, what's this girl look like? And why can't you stand her? Why can't stand me like that? Very, very, that's good. I like how you flipped the script on that. Let's go to number 4. The 4th sign that your woman is lying to you is she gets agitated when you ask for more details. So let's say you ask your girl, let's just stick with the example here. Well, how do you know Kevin left work early? And she responds with, well, that's a silly question. We work at the same company. Then you follow up with, yeah, but he works in the sales department and you're in accounting. That's on the other side of the office. Well, at that point, if she starts to get irritated and responds with something like, Donovan, we work for the same company. Everybody knows when everybody gets off, then she is definitely hiding something. If your woman gets pissed off, if she gets upset, if she gets irritated when you ask for more detail, she is definitely hiding something, at which point you need to quiz her hard for more information. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you a perfect example. How I caught, and a lot of you guys who have followed me know about she was either Ukrainian or she was Russian. I still don't know. She had a very thick accent, but her name was Tatiana. And that breakup was almost as bad as the one with Amy. I mean, this girl she ripped me in two. Anyway, how I found out that she had a boyfriend is every time, I would FaceTime her, right? It'd be like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon in Las Vegas, it's like 194 degrees outside. So every time I FaceTimed her, she would I would hear her screen door, her patio door closing, and then she lights up a cigarette outside. And so I said, you know what? I think she's up to something. I said, go back inside and let's have this conversation. You know what she said to me? She's like, oh, you're really starting to piss me off. I said, I don't care. Go back inside. We need to have this conversation. She's like, do I have? Yes, you have to. She's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I said, then this conversation's over. She stayed on the line and she's looking at me like, holy shit, I'm caught. Then she hangs up the phone, right? Then she blocks my number from me FaceTiming her. At that point, I knew the jig was up. So she unblocks my number. She FaceTimes me. Now she's in her kitchen and it's all dark. I said, tell me you love me. She says, I love you. I said, say it again. She says, I love you. Then she looks at me like, what? What? I said, okay, take your phone and give me a panoramic view of your place at that point. And again, she's getting agitated because she hung up the phone. And at that point, I was like, dude, I know what's going on. Come to find out, she had a boyfriend the entire time she was seeing me. I thought I was the boyfriend. Guess what? I was the side dude. The point is that the reason why I knew that there was something going on other than the fact that, circumstantial, she's always on the porch smoking when I FaceTimed her when she's at her house, is she started to get agitated. I said, go inside. Why do I have to? When you quiz a girl on the details of her story and she gets agitated, that is a telltale sign that she is not telling you the truth. Steve, what say you about a girl getting agitated when you ask for more detail on her story as an indicator that she probably or could be being dishonest with you?
Well, and I'm sounding like I'm beating a dead horse, but the thing about women, like we talked about before, is that even though they move 5 moves ahead of the regular normal grass-eating lion, they don't look to reinforce the lie because they feel like he's never going to ask. I mean, he's never going to question the question. He's just going to be satisfied with the answer. And for a lot of these guys out there that walk on eggshells, guys not ever having women or not having options, they never don't dive in deep. But what's even crazier is when they do what you say, Donovan, and they ask that question, they question the question, then she has an attitude. Then all of a sudden, these guys then take a weak position of, well, I'm sorry for upsetting you. Or what did I do wrong? Why are you so mad? Why are you angry? See, they don't even realize that they caught her. But there again, a lot of these guys don't get multiple women. So the woman that they have, they got to be careful with. It's got to be like a brand new baby. They got to walk on eggshells. They can't tip the boat. They feel like if I make her angry, if I upset her, then I'm going to lose her. So I need to be careful about what I do. But sometimes they don't even realize that something inside them is saying, hey man, question that bitch one more time. And then they ask the question and she, why are you asking me all those questions and all that? And then she starts arguing with them. And then, because a lot of guys don't know how to check women. When women get argumentative, these guys then get in their eggshells or they back down, apologize, or say, oh, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean to ask you twice. I forgot that I asked and forget about it. Or Donovan, real quick, one that you didn't add, she will get angry, but she's also smart enough to get more sexual and touchy.
Ooh.
Like those old gangster movies that back in the day when they would escape and they had the hound dogs, they would like put pepper on the ground or do something to take the scent off. She'll throw you off the scent. Now, her anger, yes, is a telltale sign. But she remembers sometimes they got the backup plan to the backup plan, and that backup plan would be, well, okay, oh shit, I think he's on to me. Like Scooby-Doo. When they take the mask off. Yeah, right. I could have got if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Right. I'd have gotten away with it for you meddling kids.
I would have gotten away with it if you just didn't ask that other question. But what do I do? What do I do? And then she has like that Twix moment where she freezes in time. She's like, okay, I'm gonna start being a little kissy and huggy with him, and I'll throw him off the scent. So yes, they can get mad and angry, Donovan, but they can also get touchy and feely. But these guys, when they ask, I don't think they realize and they asking to set her to see if she's lying. I think sometimes they forget to ask the question. Then they ask the question so they don't get yelled at and get in trouble. Thus, they get yelled at. Then they go back into the shell. So it's like
I like that. It's like a cycle.
Yes.
DJ, what are your thoughts on if a woman gets agitated or irritated when you push her, when you quiz her on the details, that being a telltale sign that she is probably being dishonest with you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say sometimes it's better to not quiz her at the time and to give it time to cool than quiz her later. But when she gets angry and she gets upset, oh, look at the hand. He's got the hand going there. Okay.
I'm trying to refocus my camera.
Got it. Okay. So anyway, act like I sometimes what I'll do is when she gets upset, I'll get upset too. Like I'll just play along. I'll get upset with her and then we'll like have this little argument. And then like I'll kind of stop for a second and then I'll start making fun of her for overreacting and sarcastically call her out. And here's the other thing. They get wound the fuck up about it. They're like, whoa. I said, yeah, see, I could do that too. And then, yeah, exactly. And then, see, here's the thing. This is how you know you're with a superpower thought, is what Steve said. Okay, this is the hoe is as the day is long, is when she turns the sex on. So when she argues and then she turns the sex on, go with it. Agree and escalate. You're getting yours. Might as well smash it right now.
Straight up.
So you smash it, and then once you get done smashing it, then you roll back to her and go, I know you overreacted and got angry about that, but I appreciate you getting laid, but I still have the question. What's going on?
Look, I appreciate you giving me head, but we didn't clear up what was happening before you gave me that head. I'm
Right
about that.
And she'll get really pissed because then she realizes she can't use sex against you as a weapon.
Yes. Very good. 914-205 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you want to get in on the conversation. Area code 512. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I was watching a video a few years ago, and I can't remember where I saw it, but this cop was talking about how he can tell people are lying. And he said one sign is that people will start touching themselves when they're lying. They'll touch their face or whatever. What do you guys think of that theory?
I don't know that I have any thoughts on that because I've never heard of that before. But then again, I'm not a lie detection expert. Any of you, have you guys ever heard of people touching their faces when they lie?
Only when they're nervous. So like if you have an inexperienced liar and they're nervous and they're jumping around, sure. But a lot of these women, by the time they're in their mid-20s, they are master deceivers. And so what's going to happen is that when you're talking to these women, they're going to give more signs of telling the truth rather than less. So they'll keep eye contact. Maybe they'll, their eyes will dilate, those types of things. So like all the little micro expressions that a lot of people use, this is why it's important to baseline her behavior and to baseline her environment in addition to baselining like what she says and how she reacts. So, and you also got to remember too, that a lot of women are conflict adverse. In other words, they're not going to try to instigate an unnecessary fight if they're trying to cover up a lie, other than to respond out of anger, which is more of a defense mechanism than an instigation.
Wow, very good. Yes. Responding in anger, responding out of anger is absolutely a defense mechanism. And the reason why they use this as a defense mechanism is because, like Steve says, most women know that men are afraid to piss them off. So if she thinks he doesn't like to piss me off because you've showed her that you're afraid to piss her off, I know when he starts to pick up the scent that I'm fucking Kevin in sales, I'm going to get pissed off, and that'll throw him back off the scent because he's afraid to piss me off. He's going to do his level best to make me not mad anymore, which includes, oh, no, baby, I was just kidding. I'm sure you're telling the truth. Steve, do you have any thoughts at all on women touching their face or people touching their face when they lie?
No, not really, because again, for a lot of guys out there, they're not even looking at her face. You know what I mean? They're not looking at her doing. They're so busy looking at her titties and her body, or they're shying away. They're not. I mean, again, when it comes to body language and all that stuff, I don't really care about that except in the bedroom. So I mean, if she's touching her face, maybe she's itching. I don't know what. I don't care about
right? I don't know. I think there is something to, and thanks for the call, area code 512. I think there's something to what he's saying, but I don't think I've ever detected. I don't think I've ever known that a woman was lying to me, and the reason I knew is because she was touching her face. I agree with DDJ in that if they're an inexperienced liar and they're nervous, then maybe touching their face is an indicator. But other than that, I'm sure there's probably some truth to that. Nothing that I've ever experienced personally. Let's move. We are now at the halfway point, guys. Again, if you guys want to get in on the conversation, 914-205-5356. If you're outside of the U.S., you need to dial 001-914-205-5356 to get in on the conversation. Let's go to my number 5, and this one is actually one of the this is one of the ones that I'm very, very keen on. The fifth way that you can that you can tell that a woman is trying to be dishonest with you or trying to lie to you is that her alibi is too specific. It is either too buttoned up or doesn't have enough details. Now, this is what happens when your suspicions are too high not to remain silent. You don't want to be the guy who's asking your woman, where were you? Who were you with? And what were you doing? Now, if you vetted her and you trained her properly, you'll rarely have to ask her this. But because most men do not vet and train women properly, the urge to ask this question will hit these men at some point. Now, when she's been fucking Kevin in sales, right, she'll know you're going to quiz her on her whereabouts because she's had her phone off for the last 3 hours. She'll already have her cover story completely memorized. And when she tells you, she will be extremely detailed in her explanation. So when you ask her, where the fuck have you been? She'll respond with, well, I left here at 3. I got to Lisa's at like 3:15. From there, we went to the mall, then went to Forever 21. We spent 2 hours there. Then we got hungry, then ate at Choose Express at the food court at like 5:30. After that, we went to Macy's and spent a half an hour there. I dropped Lisa off at 6:15, and now I'm here. Right? Guys, that alibi's bullshit. The detail, the timeline, the exact times, and all that, that is a dead giveaway that she is lying. Girls will also try to overcompensate by giving very little detail so their alibi sounds more believable. Gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, unless she is BPD, her cover story will either have too much or too little information. So like I said, you never have to memorize the truth. So if your girl's alibi is too detailed or not detailed enough, she is definitely lying. Steve, what are your thoughts on details or lack thereof as an indicator of truth or untruth? And area code 289, we're going to get to you after Steve and DDJ, so hold the line.
I would go more detail oriented on this one. Because, okay, and I want to give y'all some game because my boys are doing this right now. See, you're right about the guy that we call that the insecure guy, always asking like, where you doing and where you at and why are you here? So what you want to do is you want to kind of, again, 5 moves ahead. So you think to yourself, okay, you know that he's going to ask where you at. So why don't we do this? Why don't you go to the mall today? If we're seeing each other tomorrow, go to the mall today with the same outfit on. All the photos you want of all the places that you're going to be at, because we're going to be in a hotel smashing. So you go to the mall today and go to all the places you say you're going to go to cover yourself up. And then while we're smashing, you can go ahead and also take videos like, hey, baby, how you doing? I just sent you a video. I miss you and everything. Wow, the mall is packed. I mean, but see, this is some advanced stuff, but I'm just saying.
I've heard this kind of stuff before, man.
Yeah, but this is because the real smart ones are not going to put themselves in a situation where he's going to start asking questions. So they're going to head it off at the pass, right, by going ahead and keeping him more informed. See, I think the more informed she tells you, then it's a sign. It's a sign. But sometimes they want to, because the helicopter handcuffing guy, he's gonna always be wondering where you at, what you doing, and why are you here, why are you there. So in order to fix that, you go ahead and take your selfie photos and all that stuff the day before. You take your videos the day before and all that other stuff. And then you also go in the bathroom, because when you're in the hotel, you go in the bath. Sometimes they'll FaceTime their men while while they sucking your dick and shit. I mean, that's a whole different thing. But they will cover their ass. But look, I'm gonna stop him from asking questions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bombard him with photos. What do you think how I look in this outfit? She'll take a photo selfie of her holding up a shirt. What do you think about this shirt?
Mm-hmm.
The next day, while she's in the hotel with Ron, whoever you call the guy's name is, she's in the hotel with him. All she doing is like, okay, let me head him off at the pass. Hey, baby, what do you think about this?
So he doesn't call her, right? Well, she's doing this. Oh, my God.
And he's like, wow, what a good, wow, my baby really cares. My baby know that it frustrates me to not know what she's doing, but look at her. She's going out and far and beyond of what she's doing. Finally, so baby, take your time. Enjoy yourself at the mall. I'll talk to you later.
You're giving him too much game here, man. Listen, man, you're letting these. What you're doing right now is you are giving away the female playbook. They're on offense and we're on defense, but we got their playbook. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. DDJ, what are your thoughts on a woman giving you too specific an alibi or not a specific enough alibi? What are your thoughts on that?
All right, let me start this out by saying this. Every woman's a hoe or a slut if you catch her on the right day. Okay? There are no exceptions. So if her phone is off and she said the battery died, she's lying to you. Okay? She's lying to you. Okay. I mean, write it out for what it is. Let the love bomb happen, but you need to start preparing for the door. Okay. Because it's coming, just like you're going to until you leave.
That's all right.
So the other thing is if she's super specific, absolutely. However, if she texts you and says, what do you think about this? The way you call that bluff is you say, well, I don't want to text all that. I'm a little busy. Why don't you call me and we can talk about it? And then if she says she can't call you, well, there you go. Now you got her. Okay. Also, if she's overgeneral, the phone is off, you can't get a hold of her, and she's overgeneral, and this is normally out of character, and then she gets upset, like we were talking about in the previous example, and she doubles down, absolutely the hoe is lying. Absolutely, she's lying. Because again, if this is a woman who you always can get a hold of or always contacts you back, that's a problem. So the only thing I would say is this. I mean, if you get to a point where you're upset or whatever, don't fuck with her about it, except to troll her. Just understand that she's a hoe already, and there's probably 3 or 4 others out there that you can get a hold of. Don't fall for the one-itis. Okay? She's replaceable. Thanks to feminism's promiscuity culture, every woman's a hoe or a slut if you catch her on the right day, you know? So just do what you got to do and make sure you take care of yourself first.
Well said, man. Very, very well said. 914-205-5356 is the number to call. Let's go to area code 289. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome. I got a question for everybody, but I want to hit Steve up because I know he's married, he's got kids, and he's got a son. Question. Steve, if your son was 35 plus and wants to be a man like you, he wants to have kids, he wants to cross that bridge, what vetting process would you suggest he go through? Currently dating, currently seeing people, but does not want to be 40 plus looking for kids. I'm going to hop off now, guys. Thanks for
Wait. What's the question again? Before you hop off, say it again. I couldn't understand what he said.
He wants to know. He's got a son. I think he said you have a son who's. Yes, he had a son who's 35. What is the vetting?
No. So if So
he wants to know about the vetting.
He's asking you for advice.
Right. So hypothetically speaking, 35-year-old guy asking you for advice on how to vet women to avoid having kids. Because if I'm not mistaken, caller, you don't want to have kids. So
No. How would you vet to go into that process of having kids? So currently, red pill wear, dating. But looking to do that, I'm seeing Rouge, and he's traveling all over the place. He's looking for a wife, but it seems like it's quite a struggle. I'd say 40 plus. So I'm asking you, gentlemen, what you think the best process is. So, Steve, you have a son. What would you tell him? I'm going to hop off, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, I'll try to sum it because it's a long answer, but I'm going to try to sum this up fast. What I have figured out, not because I've been in the game, I've been out the game for 20 years and married 20 years, but I learned this in my gigolo years of how to find out if she is wife and woman worthy. I've got a simple blueprint that I always share with guys that you got to set expectations in different levels and phases of the relationship. So you got the meeting and dating phase, you got the relationship phase, you got the living together phase, you got the engagement phase, and then you got the marriage phase. And every phase are different sets of expectations that you have to have for her. Most guys go from meeting a woman to moving in with the motherfucker to engaging with her, having unprotected sex with her, which they shouldn't be having. And then they break up, then they all in cluster. Or they will meet a woman, she's dogging them out in the beginning. They don't see the warning signs. And then they move in with her, engage, get married. Then they break up. Then they get all mad and pissy when she fucks them over in court. My system is very easy, very simple. If she cannot satisfy 70% of what you expect her to be in every phase, all you do is fall back. But the most important thing is that you've got to have certain standards on every phase, especially when you get close to the engagement phase. Because when you're in the engagement phase, that's when you gotta have the powwow. You gotta look at her books, the credit score, where she's spending her money. You gotta talk about Halloween, Christmas, discipline, school, politics, religion. You gotta have this talk with her to see if she is wife and mother worthy. You don't get her knocked up during that process. You keep going. Now, don't get me wrong. A woman can fake it, and it's rare, but they can do it. They can fake it all the way to the marriage and have the baby. So I'm not gonna say this is 100% solid, but once you are learning what we teach, you will be able to pick up on stuff. And I just want to say this real quick because I know DJJ, but I just want to say this. What a lot of guys don't understand is she shows you her hand early on, but like we've all been talking about today, is that with you got to make sure your son doesn't come into the relationship as a lie. Because if you come in lying, manipulating, trying to deceive her, using those pickup lines, those tricks and gimmicks and all that shit they try to teach you, then you're going to get what you deserve on the back end, because this is what you're going to do. You want to play the game? Let's play. And I already got the end game in sight, which is going to be you paying child support for 18 years. You want to come in lying to me? You want to come in trying to manipulate me? You want to come in trying to think that I'm stupid? You think you're going to do this to me? You know how a woman is scorned. They evil, but they'll be like, okay, I'll be the gingerbread house. You come on in, Hansel. Come on in. See the gingerbread house, taste it, be with me, marry me. Hey, I'm on the peel, or how they say it, Diamond. Well, my tubes are tied, or I got in a bad accident with a Bigfoot, and I can't have kids no more. Right, I can't have kids no more, and everything. And I've only been with like 1 or 2 guys all my life, and you're the best lover I ever had, and I love to feel your warmth and your, all lie after lie after lie after lie, because you lie first. And some women will do that because some women are evil. So what I would just say to you real quick is, at the end of the day, you got to learn that system of it's a phase out system. If she does not agree on 70% of what you deem are your rules, and like we said before, Donovan, your boundaries and expectations that we talked about yesterday, if she cannot hit on that in every phase, you fall back, you don't go forward. Most guys don't ever know this information, and they think they get around their loser friends and they say, well, hey, all couples fight, all couples argue. Then you go to your dad, well, son, don't make her mad. Happy life, happy life. Sometimes you got to sleep on the couch. That's just how life is. You go around and be around a bunch of losers. They're going to teach you how to be more of a loser, and then you'll get your ass in a slung. So what I'm saying is, know your boundaries, know your expectations, but know in every phase of the relationships, your expectations have to be met at 70 or higher. Donovan?
I like that. DDJ, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first and foremost, I want to dovetail off of what Steve said about entrapment with a child. Let me tell you something. If you're 35 years old, the reality is these women want you. A man will reach he'll start getting into his stride into his 30s. Some men will do it in their 20s, but a lot of men, it doesn't happen until their 30s. A lot of these younger women will try to lock them down. You got to remember, paternity fraud is like 30% in the United States.
Yeah.
So if she pops out a kid real quick, or she gets pregnant real quick, the reality is that what's going on is that kid might not be yours. So when you're learning a woman, understand she might be love bombing, she might be chameleoning you, she might be mirroring you, she might be compartmentalizing. But that's why I always say you have to learn a woman through all seasons twice. In other words, you have to see her through all seasons twice, which is a minimum of 2 years. And then afterward, if you last that long, you need to double check her values at the 2-year mark and make sure those are the same values she had in the beginning. Because if not, again, she was being a chameleon. She was being a love bomb.
Right.
And you got to understand, and this is something that's super important too, women will pretend to love men they hate to set him up for revenge. And sometimes they will wait years to do it. Okay?
They're diabolical. That dude.
Now, I for myself, I'm not getting married again. But if you're thinking about getting married, then I would say this: don't choose a woman with kids. Don't choose a woman with criminal record. Don't choose a woman who's living with family members. Don't choose a woman who's ever been mentally institutionalized, or she's been taking like medication for major mental issues, especially if she's cluster B or bipolar, because a woman who's bipolar, when she gets in her manic phase, she gets hypersexual. The same thing with borderline personality disorder. They can't get away from the drama. And then I would also say, don't ever choose a woman who is addicted to drugs or alcohol. And the other thing is this: never tolerate a lack of investment or any kind of dishonesty. Yes. Have some standards, because I'll tell you, the relationship is over once her investment stops. not when you guys part ways. And there will be a time where if she's love bombing you and you're like, I'm thinking I want to marry this woman, I absolutely love this woman, then the love bomb stops and you realize she turns into a different woman and she's no longer invested. Then you got to go through the first rules that we talked about in this podcast about, you know, the ways to tell a woman's lying to you, because at that point she is. And, you know, yeah, fall back, slow it down, exit, and you know, and try to keep the drama to a minimum, because again, she'll wait years to set you up for revenge.
I like that. And here's something else I'll actually add to both of what you said. And Steve touched on this before. She could be faking it, like Steve said. Women are very, very good at becoming a chameleon. And a lot of guys get caught up in answering a woman's question. So what are you looking for in a woman? And you go right down the list. Well, then all of a sudden she becomes exactly what you tell her, and you tell your buddies, oh my God, I just can't believe it. Ashley is everything I said I wanted in a woman. Well, just like DDJ said, she's a chameleon. So the way to answer that question, so what are you looking for in a woman? Just kind of be like, you know what? I don't know, but I'll know when I see it. This is what keeps her honest. This is when you can sort of see the real her, instead of her tailoring her personality to what you think you need. Here's another thing. You got to keep in mind that just because a woman is wife material, just because she is mother material, that does not mean she will stay that way. A lot of guys marry women who are genuinely good women, right? We say all women are like that and all women are like that. All women operate the same way, but there are some women out here, or I don't want to say, but all women are like that, period. There are some women out here, even though they fall into the AWOL category, there are some women out here that don't monkey branch. There are some women out here that haven't had sex with every guy they've dated. There are some women out here with low notch counts. There are some women out here who are genuinely good women. But then they fall prey to their slutty friends. They fall prey to television. They fall prey to movies. They fall prey to the culture. And 7 years and 2 kids later, she's fucking Dave, the unemployed garage band guitar player who may not be homeless, and you're none the wiser. Okay? This happened in my own family, guys. And I've talked about this before. My own mother was a virgin bride. My father was the first man my mother ever had sex with. She had 5 kids, opened up an in-home daycare center. We lived on base. It was the American dream. But then she became friends with other military wives. And as we all know, military wives are some skeevy-ass hoes. Unfortunately for my mother, they influenced her to the point to where she started cheating. Virgin bride, guys. But she ended up getting passed around by 2 or 3 different Army guys, which resulted in more than one abortion. So again, just because she is wife material, just because she is mother material, doesn't mean she's going to stay that way. Steve, what you got, man?
No, that's what I just want to say. That's why it's really important that you stay as man, work on your manhood. Never stop. Don't get complacent and don't get lazy just because she's treating you well. As soon as she gets out of line, that at the end of the day, Donovan, this is why I always push. When a woman is less likely to mess around and leave you when she knows she's replaceable. But she knows that, you know what, there are other women beating at the door waiting for her to screw up, waiting for her to mess up. She's going to think twice, because women love competition. So but most of these guys don't have options. What most of these guys seem like they do is they have the umbilical cord attached to mommy. They take that out of mommy, then they'll attach it to the next woman to only take it out of her and then attach to the next woman. You know, they just stick with one woman. There's one woman after another. And when she realizes she's got the high ground because you have no options, she does whatever she wants to do at that point. But when you have options, I really feel like she'll think twice, brother.
Very good. Very good. 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you have a question or a comment. Let's move on to number 6. The 6th way, according to Donovan Sharp, that you can tell your woman may be being dishonest with you. And I really want to get you guys' feedback on this, because this is something I picked up on. I have found that she's being dishonest when she makes too much eye contact when telling her story. When I asked Devin how her day was, she rarely makes eye contact with me because we're both doing other things while she's talking to me. She's making dinner. She's going back and forth between the kitchen. I'm on the couch. I'm sitting in my easy chair playing Candy Crush, sort of trying to decompress from being on the air. This is our normal routine. When you and your girl are having standard conversations like, how was your day? There's little to no eye contact being made. But when she makes too much eye contact, she's trying to gauge a reaction to see if you are buying her story. So when she tells you, well, work was same old, Kevin got on my nerves, but he got off early, so I didn't have to deal with him. I went to lunch with Carol. I had the Cobb salad. She had the chicken quesadilla and the Coke. Traffic sucked, but I listened to the Girls Today podcast, so that helped to pass the time. And now I'm here with you, and she doesn't break eye contact. That is a major red flag. Most girls give themselves away even further by maintaining that eye contact to make sure that you're buying the story. The best way to handle this is make expressions that make her think that you don't believe her. When you do this, she's going to get louder, she's going to get more descriptive, and she's going to start to get panicky. She'll try more and more to convince you that she is telling the truth. And when that happens, it becomes plainly obvious to the both of you that she is not. Steve, I'm going to start with you first on this one. What are your thoughts on if a woman makes too much eye contact when telling you your story? She is being dishonest with you. Area code 951. I see you on the line. We're going to get to you in just a second.
I don't think it's a problem having eye contact, because when a woman is really into you, and this is what I mean, especially when I was a whore and having women, they always looked at me. They always looked deep into my cake ass chestnut eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I love looking into your eyes, and you just so that to me, when a woman's really into you, it doesn't hurt for her to stare at you, because she's like, to me, she's like, wow, I'm so lucky. I can't believe I'm with this guy, and he's just so this and so that. See, my thing is, I believe, listen, I'm going to give you a 25% yes on what you're saying and a 75% no. And the only reason I'm giving you a 75% no is because I don't want to generalize that, because some woman might just be in love, or some women want to know if you're paying attention to them. Because the thing is, all women are different. They love different. They behave different. But yes, they can lie the same. But as far as just looking at me, I don't think staring at me is a problem, because when she's really infatuated and really in love with you and just can't stop looking, I mean,
her eyes off you.
Right. Think about how many times have you been to bed sleeping only to wake up at her staring at you, because she's like, I'm so lucky I'm with him. Or
Devin stared at me before I'm asleep. I'll be sitting there and she's like,
right. Or you know, if you smashing in a hotel room, she wants to savor that moment before she has to go back home to her husband. You know what I mean? She'll just be like, oh man, I really care about this guy, and I just want to. So I don't think staring at you is a bad thing, but I don't think it's showing her that she's lying.
Okay.
I just think that sometimes some women may be deeply in love with you, or is that she's just savoring moments, man. That's just my opinion, though.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, DDJ. So I say too much eye contact means she could be being dishonest. Steve says not so much. Where do you fall?
I think it's both. I think in the beginning of the relationship, in the first part of the relationship, when it's new, absolutely she's going to be staring you in the eye. But if you've been with this woman for years and she doesn't want to do the eye, and she's doing the eye contact, then I'm more inclined to agree with you. But I will say this, if you ask her about her day, or she's telling a story about your day, I would turn it into a conversation and make it a back and forth. Oh, well, tell me about this. So tell me about that. Because once she gets into, because when she's lying, she's going to start to get insecure. Well, why are you concerned about this? Well, it's because I care about you, and I'm interested in what you have to say. Of course, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and then watch her just wind up.
Dude, you're a fucking douchebag. I love it, man. Like you're so good at like parrying, like you're good at the bobbing and the weaving and throwing counter punches, man. I gotta start listening to you more, because that's.
I'll tell you what. I've been out after dark with a couple of these hoes, and I've been with some superpower thoughts, and every one of them thinks she's the smartest bitch in the room, and it's like, look, you know what?
Smartest bitch in the room right here.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, I'm happy to take the love bomb, but I'm out when it's over. So
straight up, like I loved your listen. I'm happy you gave me head, but we still haven't resolved what I was asking about before. So,
exactly. And then she knows she's checked. Then she's like, oh shit, because then the thing is, she doesn't know what the fuck to do, right?
Nope.
So she's like, God damn it, I got angry, that didn't work. I turned on the sex, that didn't work. I did this, that didn't work. God damn it. And then she'll say something stupid like, well, you're just a really hard man. And I'm like, yeah, that's what she said. And then I just move on with my day and laugh about it.
and at that point, you both know that she's lying.
Right.
Well said. 914-205-5356. Let's go to area code 951. You are on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Hey, gents. This is Marcus. I was wondering, so if your girl sends you a screenshot and of her phone. She was just sharing something with you she saw on Facebook, but then she crops out whose page it was on. Is this something to worry about, or what do you think?
In my opinion, yeah, that could be something to be concerned with. So you're saying that she's sending you a screen grab of something on Facebook, but then she crops out the indicator of whose Facebook page it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
listen, that's definitely something to be concerned about, because if it was someone who was innocuous, if it's someone benign like her girlfriend or her aunt or her mother, father, brother, sister, some guy she's friend zoned, then she wouldn't really worry. She wouldn't really be concerned with that. But the fact that she's concerned with the fact that she doesn't want you to know whose Facebook page that is, that's definitely a red flag in my book. DDJ has a question or actually Steve says he's got a question for the caller. Steve, go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, I want to know something. Number one, what is she sending you that she cropped out? What did she send you?
So I guess her friend shared something like funny on Facebook. But the thing is, I don't know who the friend is now, because she only shows me what the person said and about what they shared.
Okay, she said, okay, wait. So you can't just ask her, let me see the link of what you sent me? You can do that, number one. But number two,
yeah, I could just ask her.
Yeah, just ask her whose page did you get this off of.
But again, I'm from a different time. There ain't no such thing as no guy friend. So I don't even know what that is.
His name is what?
Twan.
Unless his name is
Twan. Unless his name is Twan. And be like, hey girl, look, here's the key thing you gotta understand, caller. If she doesn't have anything to hide, she would be more than happy to just give you that information without fighting you. All you gotta do is say, you know what, hey, you remember that page you showed me? Let me see that. Let me see the page that you got it from. All she should be doing is saying, okay, here it is. If she does anything other than say, okay, here it is, there's a fucking problem. Because where there's smoke, there's fire, brother.
Good job. All right, DDJ, you've got a question for the caller as well.
Yeah. So was this screen grab from a phone or from a computer or from a tablet?
It was from her phone. Yeah, she's snapped.
All right. So here's what I would do. I would do it the same way that Steve does, but here's how I would roll into it. I'd be like, oh my God, that is hilarious. Who is that? So I can friend them. There's somebody I want to follow.
Oh, that's great.
Who is that person? They are funny. I want to see their whole timeline, because holy shit, that's great. Oh yeah. And while you're down there, look behind my sack.
Oh, great.
Yeah, fuck you. What now? Okay,
right. You're gonna say that, right?
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. If you're in a relationship with this woman and she says she's in a relationship on her Facebook or social media and she does not have you tagged on that, that's a problem.
You better believe it. There are plenty of girls who are in relationships. Wow. They claim to be in relationships.
But yeah. Let me jump in on that real quick too. Let me say something. After I left my second wife, half the women that I fucked were in relationships, and I didn't find out until after I was done.
There you go. So they hide it on purpose.
Wow.
All day, every day.
So the relationship status on Facebook is important then?
Absolutely. Because what they say is, let me tell you a little secret. Okay. If it says in a relationship, but it doesn't say who it is, that means she's available to fuck.
That's right.
Not available for a relationship. Okay.
So
okay.
Okay. I got it.
Okay. Because what she is, she ain't the girl next door. She's the hoe next door. I'm just telling you. That's just how it is, man.
Yo,
let me tell you something. The same is true with hoes who are married. If she says it's married and the husband ain't nowhere there, then there it is. Okay.
Listen, she's down to fuck, but she's not down to get married.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes sense. So again, I'm going to repeat that. That's fucking solid gold. If on her Facebook page she says she's in a relationship but doesn't specify who she's in a relationship with, it means that she's down to fuck but not down to be in a relationship.
Yo, Donovan, you need to also see how many male friends she has. Female friends.
Ooh, that's a one.
Oh, let me tell you the other one too. Here's the other one. This is how you know that number one, she's down to fuck, but number two, she's already been caught. And that's if there's a husband and a wife Facebook picture in the profile together.
Ooh, yes, I know, right? Or here's another one, right? Have you ever seen these Facebook profiles where it'll say Dan and Stephanie Smith, right? They have a joint Facebook.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The husband thinks that the only Facebook account they have is that joint account, but he doesn't know that Stephanie has another Facebook account that he doesn't know about.
Oh, let me. Yeah. That's like having a long-term wife and she got a Snapchat. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, she'll not only not have another Facebook account, but I've seen bitches with whole burner phones. Oh, like they got a whole they got Twitter, they got Facebook, they got the whole thing,
credit cards, they got a
Skype,
whole fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah,
you don't need anything if you have Skype and Google Voice. She can backdoor the thing with Skype and Google Voice.
Yep.
Yeah, but
yep.
All day, every day.
So you just got to look at. Do the count, but now look, like DJJ said, do it his way or my way. But if she does anything other than say, okay, here it is, then you need to rethink things, sir.
That was good.
Here's one last thing you can do if you really want to just fuck with her, like, and she's playing this game with you. What you do is you type something and you tag her on her profile about how hot she is or how beautiful she is, and watch all the dudes like that shit. Because those thirsty cucks will call themselves out all day, every day.
Wow.
One more on that one. Why don't you just say, wait, how long have you been dating this woman? Is she your wife or how long have you been dating?
He's gone. He didn't.
Okay, well, you know what, Donovan?
Man, call back, put it in the chat. How long you been dating her?
Yeah, because why not just say, hey, baby, let me see, give me your password. Why not? If you've been dating her long enough, hey, give me your password.
There it is.
Just give it to me. I mean, hey, and if you want my ego, that's why you guys got to have that side when me. But anyway, I'm just saying that go ahead and ask for the password. And she ain't even expecting that.
Real quick, before we move on to number 7, here is this is so funny. And so many guys are afraid to do this. They're dating a girl, you're fucking her good, you like her, she likes you. She angles for a relationship first. Every time the girl says, hey, I want to take this to the next level, guys are always like, okay, I want to take it to the next level too. And what ends up happening is he gets played like a fiddle. Here's how you can quickly find out if she is relationship material, meaning she's not fucking other guys. So wait, you want to take this to another level? Well, yeah, like I think that we should be boyfriend, girlfriend. Are you sure? Well, yeah, I'm sure. Well, how sure are you? I'm extremely sure. Okay, hand me your phone, unlock your phone right now and hand it to me. Unlock your phone right now and hand it. Dude, she's going to freeze like a deer in the fucking headlights. She didn't want to do that. If she's not fucking other guys, she'll say, sure. She'll hand it right to you. But if she's fucking other guys, and she more than likely is, she'll be like, I don't think I should have to do that. Well, wait a minute, sweetie. You said you wanted to be in a relationship. Relationships are built on trust, right? You nod. This is a sales technique, right? Okay, so unlock your phone and hand it to me. Oh, you don't? No problem. I'm not mad at you. We're just going to stay fuck buddies. But you need to shut the fuck up about taking this shit to the next level if you don't want to hand me your phone. That's how you handle that. She'll have all the respect in the world for it because she now knows that she now knows that you know she's fucking other guys. A lot of girls say they want to be in relationships. Girls don't really want to be in relationships. They want to be in a relationship and fuck other guys, which goes right back to what DDJ said. If she says she's in a relationship on Facebook and she's not, and it's not specific as to who the relationship is with, she's open, she's down to fuck. She's just not open to being in a relationship.
Well, and let's take it a step further. If it says relationship or marriage on Facebook, but she's not actually using the Facebook account, that's because everybody's sliding in and out of DMs.
Woo, straight up. Oh, here's another telltale sign when she says happily married. There's not a dude. There's not a red-blooded American woman on God's green earth who is happily married. When a woman says she is happily married, bitch, who are you trying to convince? Like me or you? When a woman says I'm 35 and happily married, I have fucked so many women who says I remember this one chick. Oh my God. She probably had to be like in her 40s, but she was hot as fuck. I approached her right there at the bar. It's at Caesar's Palace. I was like, hi, I'm Donovan. She's like, why are you introducing yourself to me? Because you have really nice legs. And I'd like for you to wrap them around me. Well, I'm happily married. I'm like, yeah, that's what they all say. Yeah, I'll have a vodka and tonic. She laughed her ass off. 2 hours later, I was fucking her in room 112 where the players dwell. When a woman says she's happily married, it means she is not happily married. Bottom line. Okay, let's move to number 7. And I think this one we might have a consensus agreement on, but we're all very different people. So check this out. The 7th way The seventh way you can tell that your woman is lying to you is when she uses honesty words and phrases like honestly, or to be perfectly honest, or trust me. So your girl is making too much eye contact. Your face gives her the impression that you're not buying her story about Carol and her quesadilla, and she starts to panic. Now, she's not going to break script and say, don't you believe me? No, she's not going to do that. No, instead, she'll involuntarily start using honesty words. So let's go ahead and go through it. You ask, how was your day? She immediately locks eyes with you and says, work was same old, same old. Kevin got on my nerves, but he got off early, so I didn't have to deal with him. Now, being aware of who and what Kevin is and how girls try to badmouth guys, they really want to fuck, you give her the impression that he is not a threat, right? You furrow your brow in disbelief. So now she starts to panic a little and she continues, trust me, I was so glad he left early. Anyway, she'll continue, I went to lunch with Carol, and honestly, I wanted to get a burger, but I went with the salad to stay thin for you. Carol got the chicken quesadilla and a Coke, and to be perfectly honest with you, I told her she needs to watch her diet. You didn't give her any impression you are buying her story, so she escalates and continues. She continues, trust me, Donovan, the traffic sucked, but I listened to the Girls podcast, the Girls Today podcast on the way home to pass the time. And honestly, I'm so glad to be here with you. Gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, the only time people use these words and phrases is if it's a verbal tick. I have several. I like to say, listen a lot. I say, here's the thing, and so on and so forth. Those of you guys who listen and follow me, you guys are well aware of all my verbal ticks. But Donovan, how do you know it's not a verbal tick with your woman? Easy. Like I said in number 1, pay attention and establish a baseline. If you pick up these verbal tics early on, fine. A lot of people have verbal tics that say honestly and trust me, and to be honest with you, those are verbal tics, fine. We all have them. But if all of a sudden she starts using honesty words, she is 100% bullshitting you. When people are honest with you, they do not have to tell you that they are being honest. It's that simple. DDJ, I'm going to come to you first. What are your thoughts on honesty words out of nowhere that aren't verbal tics being an indicator of dishonesty?
Oh yeah. She's got a black belt in the martial art of bullshido. I mean, that's really what we're talking about, right? I mean, that's when you have to reiterate that you're being honest, or the other one I like is, I've never lied to you, or I'll always tell you the truth. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And while you're down there. So, and here's the thing, is like this whole, Kevin got off early thing. It's like, look, it's not my problem he's a premature ejaculator. Just move on with your fucking day. Honestly, just move on with your fucking day. I mean, that's the reality. So yeah, so I think when it comes to that sort of thing, I think that when they have to emphasize honesty and there's no need to do so, they're bullshitting about something. And again, this goes to preparing the ground, like what Steve said earlier. So a lot of times these women, they may not have done anything yet, but they're in the planning stages. So what they're trying to do is to prepare the ground so that they don't appear to be acting out of character. So there you go. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I couldn't say it better myself. I don't even know what to say on that. You hit it all. I just think if she's bringing up Kevin all the time and you don't catch it, it's already done. The relationship's already over with. So I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. But you're right. I just, when she says honestly, I never even had no woman even say that to me, so I wouldn't even know how to even react.
Oh, I've had a couple, and usually what my response is, no, I totally get it. I'm honest with you too. I have never fucked around on you. Honest. Then I move on with my day.
That's wow.
Oh, my bad, guys. You guys there?
No, we're a figment of your imagination.
Damn, I knew I had to lay off the acid. Steve, what are your thoughts on women using honesty words as an indicator of dishonesty?
Oh, I just said it when you were gone. No, you go to the next one because there's nothing. Well, wait, while he's adjusting. Oh, you hear us? Okay, yeah, there's nothing. Watch
it on the replay.
Right, yeah, there's nothing really, really on that.
Okay,
because I would never even get to that point with somebody. So I've never had a woman say that to me, so I wouldn't even know how to even respond to that.
Bullshido, I like that. I'm a black belt in Bushido myself. All right, guys. Number 8, the 8th indicator that your woman is being dishonest with you. She can't respond yes or no directly. This is what happens, guys, when her lies begin to unravel, right? She's given too much detail about her trip to the mall with Lisa. And she hasn't explained why she didn't return your calls or texts for 3 hours. So now you're going to start asking point blank question. For example, okay, did you go anywhere else besides the mall? What she'll do here is she'll answer your question with a question like, well, what do you mean? Or you mean, did we stop anywhere else? Or she'll preface her answer with a caveat to try to create that gray area that allows her to say yes or no, but under those qualified circumstances. So she'll say, well, we stopped at the gas station and ran a quick errand. So yeah, I guess we did go someplace other than the mall. Now, the reason she feels like she has to create these gray areas or caveats is to give you a version of the truth without actually telling the truth. DDJ mentioned this earlier. The best place to hide a lie is between two truths. Ran a quick errand could mean she stopped at Dave's place for a quickie either before or after they allegedly went to the mall. Yeah, they went to the mall. Yes, they went to the food court, but she could have smashed Dave in between, right? She knew why you asked if she stopped anywhere else. So rather than just saying, yeah, we stopped for gas, then went straight to the mall, she felt like she had to qualify her answer to defend herself. Steve, what are your thoughts on a woman who cannot respond directly to a yes or no question?
Well, it's not even a yes or no question. It's just also a command, not just a question, but a command. DDJ and I were just talking about that with that other caller. Look, let me see the Facebook, and it's either you need to just do it and just move on, or you're gonna fight it. But again, you gotta understand that if you listen to the statements that you're making, you can tell that the guys that are saying that, because there are a lot of guys like that, are very inexperienced with women. They're very insecure, very thirsty, handcuffing and helicoptering, and they don't even realize that they're with someone terrible. Because if you're with someone for 3 hours and you're wondering what they're doing, I mean, I don't care, man. Like I say, I don't care. I don't care if you're gone for that long, because if you just get caught, you get caught. But I don't care. I'm not going to ask you all that stuff. But for the guys that are doing that stuff, if she's not giving you a straight up answer, that the right, you know what, like DDJ was talking about earlier, the writing is the writing's on the wall, man.
It always is, right?
It's there. It's just some people just don't want to see what's in front of them, because remember the truth. They don't want to see the honest truth, so they just want to pretend, or okay, well, I'll give her a second chance. But like I say, I would get off my box. But I'm just saying that you're right. But I mean, we're in a part of the ocean that I've never been in before, because I can't believe that motherfuckers do that kind of shit to guys. So I'm not even used to that. So I guess I can't really answer that. I listen what y'all say about that, man.
Okay, very good. DDJ, what are your thoughts on a woman not being able to answer a question directly?
Oh, yeah. Anytime a woman can't answer a question directly, that's just because she's full of shit. And the reality is that, it's like what Steve says, and again, it's like what I was saying earlier. Don't hem and haw. Don't worry about it. Like, she's dishonest. She knows she's dishonest. And you know how you know that she's that she's insecure and how she's fucking up. She can't answer your questions directly, but most importantly, she keeps on bringing that old shit. Why didn't you trust me then? Why didn't you trust me that? And I'll be like, look, we already had that conversation. We're not having that conversation again.
Answer the question.
Answer the question. And again, if you get to a point where it's there, I always say this. It's better to stand alone and know where you stand than to stand with a woman and not know shit. So you have to be able to have standards, and you have to be able to be confident enough in yourself to understand that this woman is not worth your time. And if she keeps bringing up old shit after you've already called her out, she knows that you are something that she fucked up. She knows that she's like, oh, I misjudged you. I thought I could run game on you like I could everybody else. And now she's going to try to figure out how to deal with it. And so my whole opinion is this. You want forgiveness, talk to fucking God. Because I don't got time for that, That's the thing. Like there are bridges you cannot unburn.
That's right.
So you have to, as a man, you have to be a man and have your standards. Again, this is about running your game, just like we talked about before. It's not about, oh, I need to go get laid by this girl or that girl or whatever. Let me tell you something. When you're running your game, women will make themselves available. And, there's no problem with it. But the second that you have to get to a point where you realize she's lying to you, she can't answer direct questions, and she's doing all these other different signs, let me tell you something, your days are numbered. The relationship is over because her investment stopped. So, hit it on the way out, but, try to make sure that you can exit in the right way so that you take the least amount of damage possible.
So get that. So call her out and act accordingly, but make sure you get that exit pussy, right?
Absolutely. And more importantly, once you've called her out, never bring it up again.
There you go. That's it. I got you.
Yeah.
Get you again. Yeah. I like that. Here's another one. Number 9. We've got two more ways, according to yours truly, that you can tell your woman may be lying to you. This one is easy. She swears on her life that she's telling you the truth, right? So now things have escalated. You've told her straight up, I don't believe you. Or your body language indicates that you don't believe her at all. This is when she panics. So she goes crazy and starts saying, I swear on my life. I swear on the lives of my children. I swear on everything I love. Guys, I'm here to tell you, the minute a woman says to you, I swear, she is 100% lying. Steve, agree or disagree?
I agree. And I just add one quick thing to that. When she says, I swear on her life, that's when she has that moment of figuring out, I got 3 options here after I say I swear on my life. I can go with the gator tears, I can go with the anger, or I can make it sexual. What's this combination? When I swear on my life, I've got to have some type of repercussion or reaction or some type of action to calm him down, because I think he's getting close to the scent. So I need to throw him off by doing one of the 3, the gator tears, getting angry, or getting sexual.
DDJ, I swear on my life, I didn't suck Dave's dick. What are your comments on that?
You're a hoe, and I just swear it on you.
Right. I mean, there's not really much to elaborate there, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, yeah.
Is lying.
If you ever get to a point where she has to deny having sex with somebody, she's had sex with him. I mean, come on now.
I fuck that guy. Whoa, wait a minute. Who's talking about sex here? But now that we're on the topic, tell me what's going on with that. Girls know. It's so funny, DDJ. Girls know what you're implying, but they don't want to say it because then they know that that she's thinking it. It's so funny how girls are. It's fucking
funny. And let's be real, right? A lot of these women will recycle men, especially as they get older, because it's easier and it's safer. So like you said, maybe she went to the mall, but maybe she blew this guy and drank his cum in the parking lot before she walked in.
Right.
So, absolutely that's the reality. And let me tell you, I say from personal experience, being on the receiving end of that head, it happens. So, I'm not a hater. I'm just saying it's
so funny that girls always, female detractors of myself, you, DDJ, and Steve, they're always like, oh, you guys are so jaded. Girls don't cheat and this and that and the other. Girls cheated on you. That's why you're jaded. Oh, no, baby girl. Yes, I have been cheated on. But the reason why I know that bitches be out here cheating, the reason I know married wives cheat on their husbands is because I've been the other dude. Just like DDJ said, I've been the dude giving the girl the protein shake in the parking lot. I've been the dude butt fucking the girl at Motel 6 on her lunch break. The reason I know bitches be cheating is because these bitches be cheating with me.
Oh, it's not the protein shake. It's the bukkake choke slam when I provide it.
Straight up. Running that 3-man train. It was called that DDJ, Donovan, and Steve train.
Hey, I'm not a hater.
The 10th and final way, and I think this one again, a lot of people think that this one's obvious, but I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. The 10th and final way that makes it obvious to me that a woman is lying to you is during that conversation where things are starting, where like Steve says, she knows you're getting close to the scent. She accuses you of cheating. Girls use this to throw you off and to put you on the defensive. So when you say, well, wait a minute, this is not about my cheating, I'm questioning you. What, are you afraid to talk about it? No, don't fall for that. The narrative that says, quote, he accuses you of cheating because he's cheating himself, that's 100% bullshit. Females cheat way more than men, and females know it. So when you accuse her of cheating, she's going to use that sort of reverse projection to make you think, oh, wait a minute, if I am accusing her of cheating, then that must mean that I'm cheating. Now you're on the defensive. Now all of a sudden, you're talking about your whereabouts instead of her whereabouts. Steve, what are your thoughts on when a woman accuses you of cheating if she senses that you're getting too close to the scent as an indicator that she is lying to you?
Well, to her, she knows that the guy she's with, the last piece of pussy he had was probably coming out of his mother's pussy. So she knows that he doesn't get any ass at all. So what she does is she gives him a ego boost by saying exactly what you're saying. How many women are you seeing, or who are you fucking around with? And knowing the guy can't get a woman, even if he bought one, you know what I mean? He never couldn't get a woman at all. But to hear a woman say that to him, wow, he's like, wow, yeah, tell me more. I like the feeling of her thinking I have options. She's like, man, this mother ain't got no options. Let me just flip the script, and let me try to just flip the script like you said, Donovan. Let me go ahead and just try to stroke his ego and everything and throw him off the scent. She knows that he can't get women. He knows he can't get women, but he loves the fact of the woman again. Crocodile tears. You know, you must be cheating on me. I can't, right? Or the anger. How dare you say that? How many women are you messing with? Or it won't even get to the sex part because she can use those two and get them into and throw them off the scent. So it's just flipping the script, dog. You're right about what you're saying, brother.
DDJ, what are your thoughts on when a woman accuses you of cheating when she's starting to understand that that's what you're implying that she's doing?
Well, I think that the reality is that she knows that you're invested in the relationship. So even if you could get another woman, she knows she's got control over you because you've got the one-itis.
Right. Wow.
Right. So that's a position of power for her because she knows what that does. That puts you on defensive. And so frankly, I mean, you know, I've had a woman accuse me of cheating, and I just said, well, I figured since you were fucking, it'd be okay if I could too. I just leave it there and I just walk off, and then she'll try to argue. I'll be like, no, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just, you know, I'll be real with you. But here's the thing. At least I can be honest about it. And then you move on with your day.
Listen, DDJ has you have the rock solid parry game. You were all about throwing it back in her court and getting her panties all up in a bunch. Listen, I've got game. I'm terrible at that. I have a one-track mind in that regard. I could certainly take a page out of your book.
Well, what it is it's here's the thing. It's about the zen of zero fucks given, right? Okay. And so what happens is that you get these women and that you meet them and you chameleon with them, or they chameleon with you. They want to be everything, and sometimes you can't tell. And you could be the most observant guy on the block, and you just can't tell if this woman is doing this until something comes up. But you got to be paying attention, and you got to be like on point on your observation game, because she's not going to give you any big tells, especially if she's a superpower thought. And any woman who's going to accuse you of cheating when you're concerned about her, she knows she's been caught. She has to throw you off the scent, and she has to project. That's what these women do. Or what she'll do is she'll say some shit like when you first meet her, she'll be like, yeah, all the guys I've ever been with cheated on me.
Oh, God.
You know, I've always been the honest one. With all the guys I've been with, they've cheated on me, or they've been dogs or whatever. What that means is that she was the hoe, and those guys were weak, and like Steve said, you know, she turns on the anger, she turns on the tears, and then the guy's like sitting here feeding his ego, and she's like, yeah, you're a fucking cuck, and she moves on with her day. So you cannot give them the satisfaction of using these games. And the number one piece of it is this: you have to be willing to walk away.
That's it.
You have to be willing to ignore the tears. You need to be willing to ignore the anger. You need to be willing to send her to the chiropractor if she turns on the sex, and then walk away when you're done. You know, and then say, hey, you know, I appreciate the pussy, but the reality is that that's all it was, is a piece of pussy. It wasn't anything else. And realize that it wasn't that you weren't good enough for her, as long as you're being a masculine male and doing the things you need to do, of course. It was that she wasn't good enough for you.
Right.
Men need to have standards. When you stay on your game, when you do the things you need to do, women will make themselves available. And while not all of them are relationship material, you know, they're all good for drive-through.
Yeah, listen, I don't know if you've ever seen that drive-through boyfriend thing. Have you ever read something called the drive-through boyfriend? It's on the Solomon 2 blog by Dalrock.
Yeah, I like Dalrock a lot. He's a great blogger.
Yeah, he is. He is awesome. He has a black belt in psychology. I have a big announcement here. Yesterday and today, we have now reached a point to where we have had 2 straight episodes where we have more thumbs up than thumbs down. So congratulations to the Red Man group and the Red Line It appears that the storm has been essentially weathered. I remember when the whole, division and the split came up. I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but you guys know who I'm talking about here. We got a lot more thumbs down than thumbs up. We took a big hit on the channel, but our audience is slowly growing back. There are other shows that are going on now, but this show is going to stay the way it is. So it's good. It's good to see us staying the course and just continuing to do what we do. And lo and behold, man, like we're getting our likes back in check. Now, whether you like or dislike the video is immaterial. It's an engagement, and YouTube likes that. It's just good to see. It's just good to see that the storm appears to have been weathered. So my thanks to the both of you guys for your contributions here.
Right on, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys as well.
No, man, I just want to say that that's what the chat room dogs are about, man. As men, they hold the fort, they hold the line, and I'm proud of y'all motherfuckers. Not, the guys on the panel, yeah, but the chat room dogs and those that are listening and those that have stuck with us, man, that's what it's about, man. We proud of y'all, man. We got love for y'all.
To me, it comes down to this. We have a lot of guys who think that they can actually take down a show. Well, we're gonna put a bunch of thumbs down. And I remember one guy said, "Enjoy your 100 dislikes." Like, what? Like, if it reaches 100 dislikes, it's somehow going to be taken off. Like, get out of here with that. People who, and Anthony Johnson said it best. He says, "I don't need the thumbs up in the chat." Right? The thumbs down don't mean anything to me. He says, "You want to know what the thumbs up is? The real thumbs up come in real life. The real thumbs up comes when you come out to the 21 convention in Poland. Anybody can click the mouse or hit something on their phone to give a thumbs up or thumbs down. But if you really endorse someone's message, that's when you invest your time. That's when you invest your money. That's when you invest in events like the 21 convention." So yeah, you know what? We are going to enjoy our 100 thumbs down, but we're also going to enjoy the 300 men that are going to come out to the 21 convention in Orlando this October.
Well, and just remember one thing too, right? The reality is this: the opposite of respect is not hatred, it's indifference.
That's right.
So, there's a lot of people out there that they were insecure because there were people in the manosphere who were talking about how to be more masculine, but they weren't talking about conflict resolution. And the reality is that as a man, as a masculine man especially, you will always be criticized by somebody. You will always be challenged. And there will always be storms that come. Everybody can say whatever the fuck they want when the sky is blue and the sun is shining. But when the storm is coming and when you got to run through the gauntlet, there are no other options, that's when you know who your dogs really are. That's when you know who stands by you. And that's when people see you as you truly are, because it's how you weather the storm. It's how you come through that other side. It's how you maintain your frame, or in those cases where things get really bad, where you regain your frame. That's how you can tell who the people are that are masculine men, because masculine men solve problems as they come to their doorstep. They don't bitch out and run away. You handle your shit head on regardless of what it is, and then you move on. Because I'll tell you, if you can't handle something as a non-controversy, as a thumbs down or a mean word, how are you going to handle somebody getting in your face? How are you going to handle your woman if you can't even handle somebody you hardly even care about online?
Not only that, someone who puts that much credibility in a thumbs down is someone just the way you described, DDJ. The guy or the guys that are like, "Oh, you guys suck," and they come in here and, "Oh, we gave you a thumbs down, ha 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 ha. We're going to ruin your day because we gave you a thumbs down." Those are the guys who wouldn't know what to do if someone verbally or if a man physically confronted them, much less if a girl confronted them. These are men that do not know how to handle women. These are men who think that who think that game is antiquated. They don't understand that there are real world consequences to real world actions. Giving someone a thumbs down is not a real world action. So anyone who gives any sort of credence or credit to a thumbs down, dude, you got a lot of work to do, man. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Red Man Group. I'm not going to be on next week because I will be down in the Florida Keys, but I will return the week after that, and we will continue every Saturday. Again, I'm between vacations right now. I had to take some much needed time off. I'm already starting to feel rejuvenated and refreshed. I've got a whole group of shows coming up here. Steve, any last words about what you're doing, what you have planned here in the upcoming days and weeks?
Just Monday we have the Red Pill Mindset Show. We're gonna be chopping it up on Monday 8 East, and that's about it. And then Tuesday I have my Man Mindset Show on my station. You can get that information at themanmindset.com.
Okay, DDJ, what you got?
Well, I'm not going to be running my stream on Twitch tomorrow. I had a couple things come up, so I'll be taking care of that, but I'll be running it the following Sunday. I normally run it at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to support the Twitch live stream, DDJ's Inferno, feel free to subscribe to me via Twitch. If you got Amazon Prime, it's free for you, and I make a little bit of money on it. It supports my channel and the work I do.
Good stuff, guys. That's going to do it. Thank you, DDJ. Thank you, Steve, for coming on. We will see you guys. You'll see these two possibly next week. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching.